Welcome back to the road to E3. I'm Ryan McCaffrey, joined by the rest of the Podcast Unlocked crew. We are talking about Xbox hardware. Will there be any? What's the speculation? The last week has been super juicy.
Yeah, there's really no surprises this year at E3, are there?
Yeah.
So what's most likely, hardware-wise, that we're hearing so far?
I reckon the Xbox One Slim. I think that's pretty likely. It's supposed to be like 40% smaller than the current Xbox One, which is crazy, but it's also supposed to be like significantly more powerful.
Well, not more powerful,
That's
more
a
space.
separate thing.
Yeah, this is
So
a
we
different
have
one.
two things.
Yeah,
It
so we
has
have two
2
things.
terabytes.
Yes.
It's the Slim.
2 terabytes of internal storage.
Which like, thank goodness.
Yeah, we need that.
And they said the size would make it the smallest Xbox console ever.
Which would be kind of impressive because the second Xbox 360 Slim, which was kind of ugly, it's not. They messed up the ports on the back too. Anyway, that's a different story. Was fairly, it was not it was a good size, good small size. So I mean, we know that the Xbox One is the size it is because it was purposely over-engineered. Like, can't have the red ring thing again. That's not going to happen. And to their credit, the Xbox One is dead silent, and have you heard of anyone in your life or on the internet that's had a broken Xbox One?
Someone probably murdered someone with it once.
Real talk, my Xbox One battery pack exploded at some point, and it burnt my carpet and set off the smoke alarms
That's
in my
your
house.
controller,
There
though.
was also
No, it was the battery
issue.
pack. It was like the cords. So it wasn't the controller, but there was an actual fire.
Well, okay.
So that happened.
So check that one off.
But I'm hoping that the Slim also has the power pack built in.
Yeah, that would be
great.
that would be real nice.
Yeah, I mean that would be huge. That would make transporting it, that much easier.
So
I'm fine with the Slim. Like, I don't mind like a hardware upgrade. They did that with the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned. Well, I'm a little excited about the fact that there also are rumors about one that can power an Oculus. That's exciting, but then you get this two camp. Like, do you have the Oculus version? Do you have that?
So
it's like,
the Scorpio, codenamed Scorpio,
Stupid.
Xbox 1.5.
which, according to reports, multiple reports out of our friends at Kotaku and Polygon, we're looking at a late 2017 hardware upgrade, a more powerful Xbox One.
Yeah, so this would the Slim would be this year, later this year,
Yes.
and then this would be late 2017, which would position it after the reported Sony
Neo
4.5 thing. But supposedly this machine would be more powerful than the Neo.
6 teraflops for those of you keeping score,
that's a lot of flops.
versus 4.14 is what the rumors peg the Neo at. So that'd be pretty substantially powerful, but out like a year later, potentially.
Totally. Yeah, and to let it make sense to everyone, it is roughly 4 times as powerful as the Xbox One.
That's a good way to put
That's
it.
crazy, but it's also, why would you release the Xbox One Slim and then have that as well? Like, why would anyone buy the Slim if something better is coming?
Because you weren't supposed to know about the Slim
That's
until
a good
it all
point.
leaked out, or the Scorpio.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, it sounds like it's almost and like Destin mentioned, a couple of the supposed features of the Scorpio would be being able to support 4K, as well as being able to possibly at one point support Oculus.
That's the most exciting.
That's
super
the wild
exciting.
card here.
Yeah.
'cause
So
of course,
if we have Oculus support, which is kind of likely because they already have a partnership with the Xbox
the
One
Xbox
controller.
controller,
Every
right?
single Oculus ships with an Xbox One controller. That would be
They're
amazing.
already talking.
Yeah.
Yes, they already obviously have a relationship, but it would just be so good for that console to have the Oculus, which is really impressive hardware. It's super impressive.
Yeah.
It's light. It's easy to put on. You don't really have to do much setup.
it's just nicely put together.
Yeah,
It's a nice piece of
fairly effortless, and it also has an amazing game library. I don't know how well that would go translating to Xbox specifically, or whether they'd be a little bit separate, but I hope it happens.
So Polygon's report states that Microsoft is determined to end the whole Xbox is underpowered versus PlayStation thing. And boy, what a turn of events it would be if Scorpio does end up being 40% more powerful, or whatever it is, 6 teraflops versus 4 on Scorpio versus Neo, and gets the higher powered
Oculus, which
VR
is technically
headset too.
objectively better than
It
the
absolutely. I mean,
PSVR.
that's not a subjective thing. That is real.
I think some of the early adopters are going to be a little miffed about these different SKUs coming out, and I mean, like, you buy it early, and it's almost becoming like an iPhone where there's just going to be an upgrade every year.
Well, maybe not every year, but the days of total do-over every 5 to 7 years seem completely over, for better or for worse. And I agree. I think you're right that it's up to Microsoft to make it very, very clear to everybody with an Xbox One now, like maybe you paid $500 for it holiday 2013, or maybe you just paid $350 for it now, and you're about to get really mad that they're going to announce another one.
Yeah.
They've got to message the benefits of the new one and how they're still going to absolutely support the current one.
Honestly, in my mind, the power of the Scorpio compared to the power of the Neo almost is less important than how both companies respectively manage that message.
Definitely.
Will there be a trade-in program?
Yes, exactly.
How long will games be really good on the old consoles before they inevitably kind of there's a
We're running this on
version.
minimum on your launch Xbox One, but on the Scorpio it looks incredible.
The real game is on the Scorpio.
Yeah, this is sort of uncharted waters for us, so I'm super curious, at least for console gamers, so I'm super curious to see what this looks like.
It kind of seems like consoles from now on might even end up being just an ever-evolving platform. Like you said, we're not going to have a hard launch anymore, and I'm kind of scared of that. Like, I just don't know what to expect from that.
I actually like it because, Phil Spencer already kind of put a stake in the ground on this. Remember back at the Xbox showcase in the spring, he came out on his little keynote and said that, it's going to be like Windows from now on in the sense that, it's going to be a platform where everything we're doing now is always going to work on our stuff down the road.
Yeah, and they already showed their dedication to that with the Xbox 360 backwards compatibility thing. Like, that's already something that I think they've proven as a company, and I trust that. But it's still probably eventually going to hit a point, maybe even quickly, where a game looks better on the newest thing that you maybe can't afford because they're coming out every year.
But what is cool is if that is how it's going to go, and it's just going to be a platform, and you buy Quantum Break today, and it's going to work in 8 years on the Xbox, 5.5 or Xbox 6, whatever we're up to at that point.
Maybe this is going to suck. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. It is, but what I like about that is so many games, because consoles start over every time there's a new one. A lot of games get lost to history, right?
That's true.
There's so many things. Like, you couldn't play Grim Fandango. You couldn't get or play Grim Fandango.
Yeah, basically disappeared.
One of the greatest adventure games ever made, until it finally got re-released on Sony and PC when Double Fine did the remaster. So if those things can kind of go away, we get away from remasters.
Yeah, it's good for software. Like, the history of games is kind of maintained by that, and I think things are progressively getting more digital as well. Like, probably physical games will stop being a thing, which this is also complemented by. I just really hope we have better
it could be awesome if you buy Scorpio next year, and then all of these games that you bought for the past couple years, the developers are issuing patches that you can download, and all of a sudden Sunset Overdrive looks and runs even better.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
So I'm staying super open-minded to this whole thing, but I know Destin and Sean, who's also on Unlock 2, isn't here right now. You kind of have a problem with the way this is evolving,
right?
I
just feel like I'm getting snubbed a little bit, being an early adopter, and then all these upgrades are coming out. But I can already see how their messaging is going to be controlled.
Yeah.
But it's becoming a lot like, just why am I playing on Xbox anymore when it's going to be all on PC? Maybe I should just upgrade my PC every year for less money, and I can use Oculus.
Is it going to be less money, though, when the new video cards, or just a video card, like a kick-ass video card, is $350 to $600?
Depends on how frequently I have to upgrade.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, there's still a bunch of question marks around this, and there have been rumors of smaller hardware things that might be at E3, including a new controller, and including a pair of streaming boxes that would almost like how you can
like Apple TV?
Yeah, a little bit like Apple TV, but a little $100 box that you'd be able to stream an Xbox One that you have in the house to another TV. So sort of like how Remote Play works on PS4.
Right.
Like, you'd be able to, in a 2-TV house, bring this small box to your living room or to a kid's bedroom, and they'd be able to stream from another room.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But obviously a lot of this is speculation right now. I personally am most excited about potentially Oculus compatibility. What are you all most excited about?
Oculus, definitely.
Yeah, that, and I don't know. I'm super curious that if we see any of this new hardware, just to see how dramatically better something does look. Because as of right now, every game I play, I'm like, oh, this is Doom is gorgeous, and Quantum Break is gorgeous, and Uncharted is gorgeous. Like, I can't imagine what the step beyond that.
If everything's 1080 60, some stuff is now, but if everything is, and maybe even if it gives me a reason to buy a 4K TV, I'm all for it.
I just had a mini panic attack. Our graphics comparisons are now going to be 16 different SKUs. PS4, PS4.5, Xbox One, Xbox.5, the Xbox.
Those are destined problems for another day. It seems clear we're going to get something at E3, whether it's a Slim, whether it's Scorpio, whether it's streaming boxes, whatever it's going to be. It's going to be a good E3 for Xbox. So be sure to keep it tuned right here all E3 long to IGN.